Hello, dear friend, my lovely audiences. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on the East West Show with my friend Ken Hemming. Once again, it is our time for weekly review, weekly update. For the past week, I believe for the past few weeks, things are getting better and better and better and better. Now we even had a deal made with Mexico.
Big deal.
We never thought that could happen, but it's happened, and it did happen, right?
Yeah.
So with Ken Hemming, welcome back to the show.
We're here celebrating the 103rd time since Trump was elected, not when he was inaugurated, 86 times since inaugurated, for a new high on the Dow Industrial Average. We hit about 26,930 today. I don't know what it will close at.
Yeah, there was one
but this
time,
is big time.
Yeah, there was one time over half a year ago, Dow went to over 26.
Yeah.
And once again,
right.
The second time,
we're past
during
that.
The presidency, we passed it to the 26,000 point.
Yeah, it was 26.6 and it went back down to 23 something, which is fine, okay? I mean, you're going to have adjustments, and now it's just the economic news that's happening in this country in terms of new jobs, et cetera, and even the federal chairman of the Fed has said it's almost unbelievable the consistency and the decency of the statistics on our economy.
Donald Trump says it's even getting better than he expected.
Quicker than he expected.
Yeah, right?
You know, and that's to our beautiful viewers who I love completely. Think about if the Democrats joined in with the Republicans, or that everybody just came together to have and support the pro-business agenda of the Trump administration. My God, we'd probably be at 30,000. And we still may get to 30,000. I believe we'll get there by the time he's out of the presidency.
Anyway, it is only a matter of time when people realize which way is the right way to go, which way is the wrong way to go. Right?
Well,
and by any extent, I don't prefer fighting. I especially not prefer those dogfight, which makes no sense at all.
Well, you know, I have a book out on my personal value system, and if people would just practice my value system, which many people have read and do practice, we'd have, DC would not be such a swamp. It would not be. It is the most disgusting city in America.
I trust it. And by the way, my dear audience, for that book, speaking of that devil, that is my Bible. Of course, I'm not reading through it. I'm read through already.
Yeah.
I just come back to consult all the time. And now that my wife is learning English,
yes.
And I sometimes use that as a textbook.
And I believe you live the message in my book, Jack. You live it. And life is simple if you live with these 100 words in your soul.
Yeah.
And I do every day.
The book, you may find it at Amazon. Life is Simple, 100 Words to Live By. It's a great book. My friend Ken Hemming wrote it. And I believe that he summed everything, all his life in it. And it's a very worth reading book. If you read the book and you compare what's happening around you,
yes.
You will start laughing.
Yes, that's right.
You will start laughing.
Yeah.
Okay. To the
Thank you for that.
to the treaty, to the U.S.-Mexican treaty, though.
Right.
What's your total comment?
Well, okay. Well, first, my observation, it's called the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. Now, it could have been called the United States-Canada-Mexico Agreement. Now, why wasn't it? I don't know why, but I'm guessing because we came to agreement on terms with Mexico before we did with Canada. And I think Trump has a better relationship with the Mexican president and the future one coming in than he does right now with Justin Trudeau.
The other day, they worked out an acronym called the U Mexican.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
you Mexican?
No, you.
That's cool.
You.
That's cool.
use Mexican or use Mexican.
Yeah, Mexican
use
is
Mexican or something.
Well, don't forget Mexican ends in CAN, which is Canada. So I think that's cool. Yeah.
You use Mexican something.
Yeah. And of course, we're not going to have it as being the Mexico-Canada United States agreement because we're the power for the agreement in our name, our country's name should come first.
Of course.
But so what happened though, I mean, like a year ago, okay, we're talking about this, all right? And then there's tremendous difficulties in the trade agreement with Mexico and Canada. And Trump says, I'm going to work on this. So he's been playing his cards with tariff threats and whatever. And all of a sudden then we got it done with Mexico. And if Canada didn't come in, we would have executed that agreement. And then now Canada's come in with it. And that's beautiful. And it's something that everybody believes, well, number one, it'll create jobs in America, which should be really good. And it's very complicated. I looked at a lot of elements on it, but I could read one thing, which is kind of the main impact is in the automobile industry. And so let me just share this, because this is big. One significant change to both NAFTA, which is now gone, and TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is gone, involves the rules regarding automobile manufacture. NAFTA currently requires 62.5% of a car's value to be made in North America to move across the border tariff-free, no tariffs. The revised deal would increase that to 75%. Now, here's important, and require that at least 40% of the labor for the car be paid no less than $15 an hour. Now, what that means is in Mexico, they're going to be paid at least $15 an hour. Then a gentleman named Bernstein, who is a senior fellow at the Liberal Center for Budget and Policy Priorities, so he's a liberal, said those new rules could help American workers by reducing the incentives for U.S. automakers to build new plants outside North America because it reduces the wage differential between the United States and Mexican workers. Hallelujah. No, that's pretty good.
Once again,
that's pretty good.
This is $15 per hour salary.
Yeah, 16, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be record-breaking.
For Mexico, it's huge.
Historical to Mexico.
Years
ago, I was there. Of course, things are changing.
Yeah.
Years ago, I was there. For $1.25, you get a beer.
Okay.
Number one, first-class beer. I can't name it, but it tastes so good, right?
I'm thirsty.
And if you use the change, say, keep the change.
Yeah.
Right? They're so happy.
Yes.
That's $2 altogether.
No, that's
$2.
money for them. That's real money.
And you are treated like a king.
Right.
You're treated like a king. So back then, probably they make $7 or $8 per hour. That's it. And it's in Tijuana.
Maybe less.
It's in Tijuana, the border city.
Yeah, I'd say less. I would say less.
For them, it's going to be so sounds like a liberation.
For those that are lucky enough to work in the industry, in the auto industry.
Sure.
And then the other big element that we've all heard Trump complain about a lot is our dairy business with Canada. And so rather now than 2.6% of transactions coming to America in the dairy industry, the milk industry, tariff-free, now it's going to 3.6%. And it's going to help our farmers. By the way, I want to praise our farmers because everybody keeps saying, okay, now Trump's got tariffs and this and that hurts the farmers. Well, it hurts them on a small temporary basis, and then there'll be a long-term benefit when we really are able to export without the really heavy tariffs of Canada, like 100% sometime on dairy products, make a big difference. So it's a complicated agreement. We still have to sign it, and it still has to get passed by Congress.
Now that when this agreement is signed, you look at this horizontally, everybody gets their own share.
All three countries.
Number one,
will
all three.
Yeah.
Number one is tariff-free, right?
Yeah.
You go, well, just both ways.
Yeah.
What you do, just watch the numbers, dollar numbers. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And number two, that Mexico needs cars, and we have the ability of making cars, right?
Right.
And we have the excess of making cars, accessibility, or burden to get rid of the excess part of productability.
Right, yeah.
And the same thing happens with the Canadian dairy products and the dairy byproduct itself, though. United States needs them. And the time when you put the three together, though, who benefits first? I believe United States.
Our workers and our farmers.
Our workers.
Yeah, and our auto people. The auto industry is just huge.
It's a very smart way to do. It's a 3 birds, 1 stone.
Right.
Not 2 birds.
No, that's right. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to, the benefits will last well beyond when President Trump is our president. I don't think if a Democrat, is eventually hired again or elected again, that they'll reverse this agreement. They might want to. I would presume not, because it's beneficial to us.
When something is good enough, deeply rooted to the people, though,
right,
it is hard to change anyway.
Yeah, we hope not. But so that's very exciting, and to get Canada. By the way, we're not releasing or reducing or eliminating the tariffs on steel coming in from Canada. So that's still something that is in the negotiation stage.
Next step.
It's another step. Yeah.
Next step. Right. All right, my dear friends, let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we'll continue talking about domestic change, new merge of power, of purchasing power. Stay with us.
Yes.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences, dear fellow Americans. Welcome back to the show. In addition to what you do not wish to see, there are lots of things you wish to see that happens, right? That are happening. For example, Christmas are coming.
Oh.
With Christmas coming, to us, U.S. consumers, it is a time that we will fumble the pocket, get our money out to make our families, our kids happy, right? So it's a purchasing season, is a consumer season, right? And first, what have you heard in this area about buying powers, please?
I have a feeling this Christmas, commercial purchasing of one person buying things for themselves and for their loved ones is going to be explosive. Number one, I'm not positive, I could say something now that might be just a teeny bit wrong, but the cost, the wage increase is about 2.9%, almost about 3% this year, which is really quite good because for several years it was just flat, okay? The other thing is, this is really big. In the month of September, there were orders for 42,000 new big trucks. Those are several 100,000 or more.
Not pickup trucks.
No, that's right. No, these are the ones. And let me tell you, truck drivers are one of my great heroes.
In other words, you're talking about tractors.
These are the tractor trailers. They're big. Now, 42,000 because number one, we have more jobs available now than we have people looking for them. About 690,000 jobs available. But so we need to get more people working. And one of the good things is now some of these non-violent felons that have prison records are now being hired for truck drivers and different manufacturing things and different jobs. And they're performing on the whole very, very well. This is beautiful. That's great hope for people that have done something wrong. You go to jail, but it wasn't violent and some sort of fraud. This is a beautiful thing. But the trucks.
Plus the fact that we do need truck drivers.
No, we need them desperatally.
Yeah, we do need.
And they're a hero of mine. If you could back those puppies up, you're a hero of mine.
Yeah,
okay.
They are magicians.
In the business community is worried that there aren't enough trucks now to get things on a timely basis to where they are sold and delivered. And so 42,000, that's a lot of trucks. I don't know exactly how many people make a living driving a truck, but it's a lot.
All of a sudden, when the transportability power, the equivalent to 42 trucks, the tractor trailers, is injected into the system, you could expect quite a surge of the purchasing of the consumer activities in the coming season.
And the job activities, because, okay, here's one guy that drives the truck, but then you've got to have mechanics to support the truck. You've got to have somebody at the dock that receives the stuff off the truck. You've got to have somebody where you load the truck. It creates more jobs.
Not one driver. They run 3 shifts.
Well, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Right? So one truck reflects to three drivers.
Yeah.
And then 3 drivers plus a team, maintenance team or something. And kind of you are making like at least 5 or 6 jobs. 5 or 6 jobs per truck.
You know, when people order something and it's not delivered on a timely basis because of not enough people working their trucks, the other thing that's just as important in trucks that I'm a great fan of is the railroad community. Railroads, if you look at what goes across the rails and across the trucks in America, it's the entire economy. It's everything, you know.
Yes.
And I love all railroad guys. I love all guys and girls. I love all the truckers. I'm a fan of that industry, and this is big because it's like up 90% from what's been typically ordered for new trucks. And you know, every time I know that, like one of the great truck manufacturers is Peterbilt. Okay, so when I'm driving and I look in my rearview mirror and all I see is the grill and it says Peterbilt, I know the truck's too close. Okay, so I go, woo, let me get out of the way.
Yeah, you get
but
out of
because
the way,
those guys, they're heroes of mine, and they're not, you know, and to try to keep them safe, not overtired, you know, that can cause accidents.
The amazing
is
part
really
is that
important.
even though they are mobile, they are easier to organize.
Well,
they are easier to organize. Right?
Yeah.
There's no union that is stronger than the what is a dumpster? They call them themselves
the Teamsters.
The Teamster.
Yeah, no,
they
those
call themselves Teamster.
Yeah.
There's no union that's stronger than the Teamster union.
In the old days with Jimmy Hoffa, who ran it and whatever, there was a lot of incredible negative things that some of the unions were involved in. Now it's much more pure. There's really less unions because there's less need to. These truckers will be making more money because there's not enough of them. So the supply and demand, you got to pay them more. And also there's a lot of really great women truck drivers. I've talked to some. I mean, they're good.
Yeah.
They're good, okay?
Of course,
I love them.
Okay.
So this is big.
Hopefully this coming season, Thanksgiving, especially Christmas, followed by New Year, though, and followed by the Chinese New Year.
Yes.
We're talking about 4 great holidays are together. Of course, they're always together, though. There are lots of more things to buy.
Well, in this Friday, Jack, they come out with the new job numbers for the last month, and they're estimating 185,000. I'll bet it's over 200,000. No, I could be wrong because I'm an optimist too. We know that.
And versus that, you see unemployment rate dropped to a record low.
Yeah, we're at
for
3.9.
40 years.
Yeah, right.
3.9 now.
Right. It's actually, look at if you're unemployed and you actually have a functional mind and a functional body, life is not very pleasant because happy hands are busy hands. And if you've got too much time on your hands, that applies to me right now in many ways. I have too much time on my hands because I'm not working a full-time job anywhere. I have to figure out ways to stay stabilized mentally and physically and to stay happy. But when I was working and really trying to be intelligent and efficient, it's stimulating. And so I could use more stimulation right now. I have too much lack of stimulation.
Sure, absolutely.
So if anybody needs a great mind to work with, call me. That's my resume.
Oh, yeah, good. Using your expertise.
That's my resume.
There are lots of transactions going on.
Oh, a lot of things
This is where you can kick in.
Yeah.
Right. And about last summer, you got a high-paid job.
It was a good one. For 13 months, installing a new cost accounting system for inventory on a very beautiful company and other business consulting activities, and it was good. Then accomplished the purposes of that engagement, and so then it ends. So when it ends, it ends. There's no reason for them to have me hang around and pay me for nothing. So in the end,
anybody goes to jail or what?
No, everybody went to the bank happy.
All right.
To the bank happy.
So Ken Hemming is I would say one of the very seldomly come across kind of optimistic guy.
Totally.
I feel proud of him. He has a mind so optimistic, and I never see him a long face whatsoever.
Never.
And in his book, there's a word offend, and he even says there's no way to get me offended.
I'm unoffendable. And so I've been called every name in the world, and I love it. I love it.
Well,
Bring it
kind
on.
of,
Because
right?
it doesn't, it's noise from a vacuum. See, when a person, I recommend it to everybody, don't have thin skin. Don't let anybody upset you or offend you, because there's no cure for it other than just to ignore it. And I just love you all. Never be offended. And, you know, like in the gang community, somebody looks at you crooked, you get shot. It's just noise. It doesn't
Right.
matter.
Well, that's,
Thank you for letting me share.
Yeah, sure. Let's put aside this issue.
Yes, sir.
And talking about the Kavanaugh issue,
Right.
Ford versus the Kavanaugh issue, I believe that you've seen the interview that I conducted
Yes.
with Mr. James Lee.
I did.
Right, you did?
Yep.
All right.
Watch it all.
What's your impression?
Well, you know, Mr. Lee is, you know, extremely experienced in consulting with both Bushes when they were presidents of the United States. He's a very calm, very intelligent, very sweet, very bright, very good guy. I am more on fire and emotional as well as intellectual, and so he's very calm in his demeanor, and he gives everybody good credit. And I'm a little bit more, you know, if there's some negativity, I will highlight it, and he pretty much lets it rest in peace. So he's good. I admire him a lot. I could be a little better if I was a little more like him, but I am who I am, just like President Trump's who he is. So it was good. But what's happening now, there were 3 major accusations, okay? Like the third one, where this lady said that she went to 10 parties and Kavanaugh was one of a group of people that just, you know, gang raped women there. Now, why do you go back if that? But she also now has an ex-boyfriend, that lady, that came out and said that she told him when she was at high school, she liked to have sex with lots of men at the same time, and that was her thing. So anyway, she's been completely, you know, denied from any credibility. The other one, and you know, they've really been, there's no corroboration for anything that's been said. And with Dr. Ford, and I'm not positive she's a doctor, I've read that they can't find her as a licensee in California.
Yeah. Lots of people show some doubt about her
credentials.
Credentials,
Right.
Yes.
But also that she was a co-author with several people, I don't know how many, of an article in 2008 that was about hypnotizing people that could then, because of the impact of hypnosis, could project a false reality. And so if she was hypnotized for her testimony in that, however this works, I don't know. But also she's been a very activist leftist. Her brother's a radical activist
Okay, let's
leftist.
take a short moment now. Come back,
I'm sorry.
and we'll continue on this part.
Yeah.
Because we really have to stretch out.
This is big.
In it, I do see something more important than the acquisition itself.
Yes, sir.
Right. So stay with us. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow and Ken Hamming. Once again, we're having a good time doing the weekly update. Talking about the acquisition of Dr. Ford versus Judge Kavanaugh. People, I believe so far, everybody could have their own opinion, right? So if you have 1,000 people, there might be 1,000 different opinions. We were commenting on James Lee's opinion, the former presidential consultant for both Bush. However, that was only one of the acquisitions, right?
Right.
There are 2 more acquisitions. And I like the way what they did, that they take the most important acquisition and do it, that's it. If they follow the lead of the accusers, there's going to be no end to it. Do you think so?
Well, I believe it's all was contrived, was planned, that they'd come out with Dr. Ford first, which was sort of a, you know, kind of a nice accusation of something I believe did not happen at all, and everybody she named as being a witness or there, including her best female friend, has denied that it ever happened. So there's no corroboration, zero. Now, and then it goes to one that's a little bit more nasty, and then it goes to another thing as ridiculous as 10 parties with gang rapes. That's just insanity.
Let's stick to the to Dr. Ford, her story, right?
But I think the Democratic Party planned it, coming out with worse, and worse, and there'll probably be another one.
We will probably talk about that when we finish this.
Yeah, sure.
Yesterday, I did a show with friend Betty from Monterey Park.
Okay.
Right, Betty Tom Chu.
Beautiful.
And she was Monterey Park mayor for several times, and she was council member of Monterey Park.
Great.
Right, and she herself had been an attorney. Mm-hmm. She herself had been a banker, so she knows money.
Talented woman.
She knows money. She knows the law. She knows the politics. Right?
Yeah, beautiful.
Together, we discussed, and there's another guy, Mr. Mark Ang. He is the founder and the CEO of Asian Industry B2B. Mm-hmm. Right. We agreed. We made agreement. Let's do not follow the news perspective.
You can't.
Let's flip the news. Go behind the news.
Yeah.
See if we can find anything.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Betty pointed out, for somebody graduated from one of the best, one-of-a-kind schools, mm-hmm. and we may not hesitate a bit to name them as elite.
As elite, yeah.
As elite, right?
Sure, they're elite.
And she even did not know how to file a complaint.
Correct.
Of a sexual,
right.
Of sexual, either abduction,
right,
or
harassment,
or harassment
for 35 years.
For 36 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Back then, she was 15.
Right.
Right. If a 15-year-old did not know what to do, how about 25?
Yeah, 35.
How about 35?
45.
How about 45?
Right.
Right? And then there is always a knowledge of what to do. Mm-hmm. Right? And the way she found to deal with was that to deal with, instead of law enforcement, to political parties.
Well, that's very good point. Thank you for saying that.
Do you think that itself says something?
The whole purpose of going to the Democratic Party instead of to law enforcement was to go to the neck of Kavanaugh.
Please do not mention any party name. Do me a favor, all right?
Well,
just to say the opposing party whatsoever.
Well, why?
I would forbid myself in the whole series of discussion. I'm just talking about the fact. Facts are enough, right? You give me the answer for a doctor degree, a woman from an elite school, right? For 36 years, she couldn't even figure out what to do with a sexual assault.
She didn't have a use for it at that time. Now she's developed the use to try to destroy a quality man's life and his family's life. And that's what she's been doing, in coordination with an unnamed party.
In this world, though, if you were sober-minded, you were dealing with things consistently, and you yesterday must be in consistency with the you today.
Well, you would hope so. As you mature, you know, maybe you improve that consistency. Yes, right.
The more you reach the mature age,
right,
the more consistency you have, right?
Right.
For a young girl who, after the attack,
alleged attack,
visiting somebody's house, how come she ends up with a second floor bathroom?
I have no idea, because I don't think any of it ever happened, Jack.
You suppose I visit to your house, I said, Ken, I need a bathroom.
Yeah.
Right? you want to point me to
The second story?
the first floor or the second floor or the third floor?
First floor.
First floor.
Absolutely.
Right? If
Nice
you
point.
come to my house, you ask me need a restroom.
Yeah.
I'll ask you use the backyard.
I was just thinking exactly the
Exactly
bushes.
the same thing,
I was.
right?
I said I knew what was coming out of your mouth.
Use the
I
bush.
love that.
Use the bush in my backyard.
You know, I knew it. We know each other so well.
Yeah, so well.
We don't
right?
have to talk.
Okay. I don't have to offer you to use
Yeah.
my beautiful
Bathroom upstairs.
second floor
Yeah,
bathroom
or first floor.
if I had them.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, by logic, do you think that somewhere consistency?
Well,
Of consistency?
Well, and one of the elements is to remember whatever she says she remembers, but not to know what year, what city exactly, what house, whose house, is hard to believe.
Okay, now you mentioned time, year, right? Timeline.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, all right, she might be not be able to remember what exact year it was, but she says both back then and at the time of getting married, she did seek for medical help. In other words, she did see doctors right after and around 2012.
There's no corroboration of that.
No.
There's none.
I am exactly following other trail.
Okay.
The other trail is that when you see a doctor, do you track the date and the time?
Absolutely, yes. So we're saying the same thing again, yeah.
Again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are one.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
When you see a doctor, first they ask you to fill out a chart.
Yeah.
Right?
Has a date
On
on
the
it.
chart, you have a date,
Yeah.
you have a name, you have a social security, the address, and so
Right.
on and so forth.
Right.
And at least it has a date
Yeah.
and a time.
Yeah.
Am I right? And then as a result, you go to medical record, though, you will even find the medication.
Sure,
necessary.
if necessary, correct.
Or in this case, of course, that could be by law forbidden as personal information.
Privacy, yeah.
Yeah, privacy, not to be released.
Right. But if she knew what doctor she went to and authorized them to release when she was there, they can do that.
To make a point.
Right.
Right.
So there's nothing corroborated whatsoever in anything that was stated. Nothing. In the 4 people she said were there, all deny it ever happened. So how can you really just believe it? I can't, but people do because they believe it, Jack. You know, hatred is blind. So they just believe it because there's an agenda for that. But if you really are fair-minded, truth-seeking persons, Democrat or Republican,
There's
there's
no hurry to sum up by now.
okay.
We're still going on to
Yeah.
to analyze with the losing end, right?
Yeah.
Another losing end you also mentioned somebody's house. Oh, by the way, we'll take a break. We'll come back, talk about somebody's house. Stay with us.
Yep.
Hello, my dear friends, lovely audience, and welcome back to the chat. We're chatting over the past week for a weekly update, and with me is my good friend Ken Hemming. Well, we found some inconsistency with the testimony or the accusation of Dr. Ford versus Judge Kavanaugh. We are not trying to say Jack Chow, by the way, what Jack Chow says represents only me, myself. It's my personal opinion as a man, as a natural man. It doesn't do anything to the organization, to EDI, to the studio, to whatsoever. It means nothing but me. How about that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right, good. Right. And we are trying to see some loose end.
Yeah.
We will probably want to find a home for those loose end, put them together for, well, maybe we may even help her, right? But the
Sure.
thing is that, yeah, sure.
All I want's the truth.
All we want is to choose.
I'm not biased. I want the truth.
Let me ask you, if you go to a party, you go to a house or to a jungle?
It's a house, generally speaking.
Has to be a house, right?
Yes, that's still standing.
You
probably.
may gather in front of the porch, by the pool, or even backyard, like I said, in the bush.
Right, exactly.
Right. But it has to be centered with a house, right?
Correct.
All right. For somebody who offers the house for the party, though, the owner must be related to one of the coordinators for the party. Am I right?
Yes. Generally speaking, yes.
Generally
Otherwise,
speaking,
you're
yes, right?
breaking into the house. Yeah.
Sure. And then
Right.
many years later, you may not be able to remember who attended the party.
Right.
But can you just roughly remember whose house that was?
Well, if something dramatic happens, such as a sexual attack, you would remember. Now, you know, what some are saying that, oh, they're so traumatized from this event that they don't remember anything. Well, I've listened to many women on TV in the last 3 weeks that said that they were attacked and they remember everything about it. They say you cannot forget when you're traumatized on something like that. You do not forget it.
Yes, of course.
And I believe that.
It was different from the fact that you had good times, you were high, you were drunk, so on, you don't remember anything. This person, I'm not talking about any person, I'm talking about,
Right.
in general case, this you here being a 15-year-old virgin.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Who had nothing of that nature happened to her within range.
And there was no sexual activity. She said that he tried to touch her and stuff like that. Nothing happened. There was no rape. Nothing like that.
The younger the mind, the more the memory of the attack.
Particularly when it's new to your lifestyle. Yes.
The younger the age, the purer the mind. Am I right?
Absolutely beautiful.
The younger the age, the purer the mind.
Beautiful.
Versus the purer mind.
Yeah.
The purer the mind, the evil the act.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So these are the things to help remember.
Yeah, exactly.
She couldn't remember it, right? So with the discussion that Mark and I and Betty,
yeah.
we came to a very loose conclusion, saying that at most it could be something did happen to her, but might not be Kavanaugh. Do you think that's something you can accept?
Oh, of course. I do not believe it was Kavanaugh at all. Not even 1/1,000,000 do I believe it. Now, also, I don't know whether there's any truth to this, but 2 men have come out to the cops and say they think they were 2 guys that may have kind of been aggressive with her at one point in time. And it's none of the ones that she named, okay? So, it is impossible for the truth to be known. But you can believe who you think you believe when there's zero corroboration and there is truly an intent to destroy the life and reputation of a quality man, 1,000 times better quality than I am, and I'm not bad. There's issues, and I know who I believe. So, and everybody, because I believe it with clarity and not with hatred or bias.
Of course, I have my own take, right? My take is that I would believe the person only when his or her story make ends meet.
Well, here's the biggest tragedy in America right now. They, unnamed, do no longer believe in due process and innocence until proven guilty. They believe now, unnamed, that if somebody accuses you of something, you're guilty. That's exactly what happened way back 300 years ago when they accused some ladies of being a witch, and she could not prove she wasn't a witch, so they killed her. They burned her at the stake or they drowned them. That is what's going on. And if we lose in America the assumption of innocence until proven guilty and the process of due process in investigation, our country's gone. And it would be gone. It would be gone if that's where we're going.
I really agree. That's why, as for to work out the title for yesterday's show,
Yes, sir.
you know what we came out with?
I'll love it.
Let's not lie.
Right. That's all we live for.
Down to earth.
Right.
Down to earth. I made it my call. Let's not lie.
I love you for that.
Let's not lie.
Yeah.
I
love you for it.
recall that when I was little, my mother used to teach me that you never lie.
Well-
You never lie. Once you lie, you always have to lie the second lie.
See, that's right.
To cover the first lie.
One of the great phrases in America is if you always tell you the truth, you never have to remember what you said before.
Yeah.
Because the truth lives on.
Oh, exactly.
Because you can, when you
Exactly.
then, when you do a lie and then you forget you lied, I mean, it's just nothing but embarrassing.
When
and
you lie the
devastating.
first lie, you lie the second lie
Right.
to cover first.
Right.
And then the third to cover the
Right.
second, and then goes on and on and on and on and on.
Eternally through your life.
Until you forget to whom you lied what.
Exactly right.
All right?
So just tell the truth, and also, you know, if sometimes the truth is not wonderful. Okay, sometimes the truth is not wonderful, but it will always be respected. And then when you admit the truth, because like one time, way back in Peoria, Illinois, I took a 2-cent piece of candy without telling the guy and paying for it. And 2 hours later, I brought it back. I said, "Sir, I took this. I was an idiot." And he said, "Okay, thank you for coming back. Just eat it. Thanks for being honest."
Yeah. So we covered lots of issues. Mostly we covered the part about the accusation made by Dr. Ford to Judge Kavanaugh. Of course, to be honest, nobody was there. Nobody was at the party. Nobody has seen who did what, who has not done what, right? So this whole thing is only her words against his words, right? So, however, there are always handles to hold on to in any situation. The handle being which story makes logic,
Good job.
right? When you choose to believe, you choose the story that has a logic, and you kick the story without a logic back to himself or herself for souvenir, and as a result, this country do not need any more lie. That's why we want to even call this show "Let's Not Lie."
I'm all for it.
Right, very good. To my dear audiences, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you,
And to
Jack.
Ken, thank you, brother. You're always my honor.
We are one.
All right,
Thank you.
you're my proud.